They had relationships with those creatures. They know the depth at which those creatures actually exist on. And they were like, this is wrong. But everyone above them that was really making all the money from all of those huge, or they were just saying, no, this is normal. And they would have high level scientists, people tell them, no, this is normal. This is good. This is fine. And they would kind of be like, okay. And then all of a sudden they realized just how damaging it is and how horrible the life is. And they just woke up one day and then they were like, we're going to fight against this. And they banded together and they created a whole force.
Did you see that show?
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
It was mind blowing. You're the only person that's ever seen that one with me. I love
Mind
you.
blowing.
It's mind blowing. It was on Netflix for a while. It was on Netflix. I forget what it's
I
called.
forget what it's called.
Okay, well, maybe we can think about it, but
I was forced to watch it. I didn't initially want to.
oh,
but
okay.
then
I didn't either. I just actually was thinking, I'm like, I'm gonna watch this. Whales are
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was like,
Yeah.
what the heck is this?
At the end, you want to save all.
I just wanted to save them all. I will, and that's why I used this instance. And it's super funny because it was way before I was at Keller Williams. And then Gary talks about it. He was actually going to talk about it a little bit later. Now, what am I going to go do? Okay, now, I don't normally talk about this, and I'm going to talk about this for a second. This is a soapbox item. I think that there is a portion of our lives today as Americans specifically, that when we get in a movie theater and we watch a super powerful movie that really touches our heart, and then we leave there and we feel super motivated, or we super empowered, or we feel super just spiritual, or whatever it is. And you leave there and you go, wow, that was a great movie. On to normal life. Okay, we go to church and we have this great sermon and we have this wonderful spiritual moment where you feel really close to God, and then you leave the theater. No, you leave the church and all of a sudden you're like, okay, back to real life. Right? Calling it out. That happens a lot. We could leave this classroom. We will leave this on tomorrow and you'll go back to real life. Or my first coach, his name was Jim Rohn. I don't know if you know who that is, but he is one of the most powerful coaches in the world's history. I love that man. He changed my life. I saw him. I was working for government contracts. I was working with Lockheed Martin, General Dynamics, these huge corporations for the government, and doing IT procurement for like the military. And it pushed me to my limits. And he spoke at one of the things. We had astronauts come and speak at our office. This was high level. This was a big deal. And Jim Rohn came and he spoke, and he was speaking to 1,000 people. There was at least 1,000 in there. And he generally said that. And I don't normally tell this story till the very end, but I want to say it now. And that's this. He looked out to the audience, and I didn't know him before. Okay. This is the first time I've ever seen him. He's older. He's actually passed away now, but he looked out, and this was probably, I think it was 24, 25, something like that. And he looked out and he goes, there's 1,000 people in here. And some of you are really hearing me. And he goes, that's 100. There's 100 of you that are really tracking with me. You're really all in. And he goes, and you're going to do things differently. There's 100 of you. I'm really only talking to 100 right now. That's what he said. And he goes, and honestly, only 10 of that 100 are going to have a complete life change. And they are committed, and they're actually scheduling it and making it real in their lives. And they're going to do something different based upon what they've learned. And then he goes, and literally there's only one of the 10 that's going to do that's going to change they're going to change their community. They're going to change their state. They're going to change the lives around them. They're literally going to be a leader that's going to pass it on. They're going to take this and make it bigger and better. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, that's me. I'm going to do that. And I'm looking around, and it looks like other people are in it. It does. And so realistically, he goes, and I'm really only talking to that one. He goes, because yes, I love that you're getting it. I love that you might have some life change, but I want the one that's going to go on and pass this on and take it on bigger than I am. I'm like, yeah. I was so motivated. So I went up to him afterwards and I'm like, I'm that one. He's like, you're the 15th person to say that. And I was like, I don't care. They could be 15, sure, great. Okay, maybe there's 15 here today, but I'm definitely going to be the one. And he was like, I love it. Well, then you should call me later. And so I got his personal phone number, and I called him maybe 2 days later and scheduled an appointment. I had to pay $1,000 of my money that I didn't really even have to sit down and talk with him. And he became my first coach. And from that day forward, like my whole life shifted, right? And my faith was on another level. My success and significance, and I built tools that I had never used before. And it was really helpful. That helped me get to another level, being super dyslexic and super ADD. And you know, my older brother used to say I was retarded all the time. You're just retarded. He was super brilliant at school all the time. And I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a brilliant guy. My dad's brilliant. My mom's brilliant. I just felt like the stupid one all the time. I don't know about you. I always felt stupid. But anyway, when I talked to him, I found out that there were tools for someone like me that if I actually implemented them, it could change everything. Does that make sense? And so I want that for you. I want you to take control of what your life is and go, no, this is my one day in life and we're going to go big and I'm going to make my career about what I feel like I'm really passionate about. And I'm going to go deliver what I've been put on this earth to do. Does that make sense? Okay. So this is really cool and all, but in the analogy for the whales, you go, okay, great. If this is your career, now you go, what are we going to go do? Your business's productivity, your potential through others. Now take this and succeed through others. Realtors are not business owners until they become a business owner. Most realtors are just realtors, and that's not good because it literally means that they're doing everything. And if a realtor is wanting to take their business, wanting to actually become a business, that's when they have to align other people to do stuff for them and with them. So because there's so many things that they shouldn't be doing, and that's every business owner technically. A great business owner realizes that they shouldn't be doing everything. There's a moment in time as you're building it from the very beginning that you need to leverage, that you can't necessarily leverage everything because you have to learn it. So you have to learn it first and then you can leverage it later. All right. But if my mission was to save the whales, remember there's some R&D happening here where I can literally go find out how I can make my career about saving the whales. I'm going to contact that great group of awesome people that are literally making a difference in saving the whales already. There's a model and a system to follow. Does that make sense? But then with my passion and experience, I can come in there and help transform it into something bigger. With me alongside it, we can become a business. We, not I. Does that make sense? And at least you're building your team. And you're already seeing the fruits of it. Yes, you're being coached. And yes, you're in the right environment, having also been surrounded by people that are doing it at a high level. That's what's great about a brokerage, is that we get to be surrounded by people that are for us, having an abundance mindset, wanting everybody in here to be as successful as we are or better. I'm not opposed to you being as successful as her, and she's not opposed for you to being as successful as her either. It's like, great, there's more than enough to go around. That's what abundance means. All right. Everybody take a deep breath. Okay. Once you have a business that is aligned with who you are, your ability to beat the competition becomes astronomically easier. I know this, and I can tell you why, but in fact, I'm not going to touch this. I'm going to go back one. I want you all to draw on the circle one, right? You should be right there. I want you to draw an egg, just like that. Draw an egg.
Thank you.
You got it. Draw an egg. Now, what? You're going to write what at the top of it. W-H-A-T. On top of it. So what? So what is it? It's an egg, right? Now, draw a circle. Inside of that circle, okay? And inside that circle, on top of that circle, inside of the bigger circle, you're gonna write how. So what is it? It's an egg. How is this egg different? The how, someone will choose, let's say a realtor. So let's, instead of making it an egg, we're gonna say it's a realtor. So what is it? It's a realtor. But how makes that realtor different than other realtors? Rob and David are two realtors. They're like two eggs. But how they're different is inside Does that make sense? And so how they're different, someone could choose David over Rob based on how he does his business different than Rob. And I'm saying this very purposefully. I don't normally go this deep on this part, but I really want to solidify this with you. There's another level below that, and why you do what you do is far more powerful than what it is and how you do it. So inside, I want you to write another circle, and inside that circle, so a little circle inside that one, so you should have 3 circles all leading in, like a target, and you're gonna have Y inside there. Because Stacy, your business, there are other businesses that could potentially compete with yours.
Yes.
But what they are is the same type of a business. How yours is different, someone could differentiate and choose you over them. But realistically, if they knew why you do what you do, and the heart for the kids and the heart for the animals and why you are doing what you do, that makes it that much easier for them to choose you over someone else. And so few businesses talk about why they do what they do versus what they do or how they do it.
And we make that a part of our
Yes.
every conversation.
Say that again, Mike. Oh, William, sorry.
I was just gonna say, that's how they do it.
Say it again.
That's how they do it.
That's how, who does it?
Stacy,
That is how they do it.
I just saying that.
Yeah, I know that. Oh, you're right. You just created validity for what she was saying.
Yeah.
I got you. Sorry, I remember I'm slow.
It's okay.
Now, remember, Keller Williams, remember how I said they had the MVVVP, the mission, the vision, the values, beliefs, and perspective? That actually had a huge PowerPoint for me in joining the company. All of a sudden, I saw that they had the same belief system and values and mission as I did. Does that make sense? The mission statement of Keller Williams is to build careers worth having businesses worth owning, to create lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. That's the mission statement. Did you hear anything about real estate? No. Because the purpose of Keller Williams is to help agents build their businesses on top of it so that they can be the light in the darkness for their community and their relationships. It isn't about Keller Williams to the client. Keller Williams is for the agent. That's what differentiates them from every other brokerage on the planet. Did you know that? Super cool. I love that. And by that, I joined Keller Williams. If we even just took Keller Williams, like if I just stated what Keller Williams was, which I just did, and then I say, okay, what is Keller Williams gonna go do about it? We're gonna go build great communities with real estate agents. And then, well, that's a business. And then you go, okay, now because of that business, money's gonna be created. So what's our financial productivity? Potential through our money. Life meaning potential, wispy, but hard to define sometimes. But then you make your career about it once you feel good about it. And then you potential through others because other people want to join you in it. And then once you do that, there's a ton of money that's created. Don't chase money and success. Decide who you are and be that. And then the money and the success chase you. You're like, whoa. I don't know if I can take that in, Tim. Well, write it down then. Don't chase money and success. Decide who you are, be that, and then the money and the success chase you. Those people that have decided to make their life about saving the whales, they actually do financially really well. Why? Because they've been able to reach into other people and build up the passion that they also feel. Does that make sense? Can you tell them a little bit passionate about this? Just a jab. Okay, are we in food coma? Are we okay? You all right? Okay.
You mind, Tim?
Yes, sir.
And this I just probably need to peel the onion, but I'm gonna ask
Yes,
because I
good.
may not be the only one, and I've always struggled with this.
Yes.
So my life purpose is extremely generic at this point.
Okay, great. Look, can you read it, please?
So my life purpose, as far as I know it today, is to live free and with the means to live any life I desire.
Okay.
So,
Okay. It is wispy.
yeah.
And so we want to add concreteness to it. Just like I was working with William and I loved William, would you be willing to share it?
Yeah, I said, in my life, I will help kids not feel what I felt.
And then I came, so his was also kind of wispy. It's not as concrete. I don't know what he felt.
Right.
I don't know. all of it. And yet he wants to work hard to make sure that other people don't feel what he did. And I guarantee whatever he felt was substantially difficult. And so he's gonna hopefully now make efforts and go do something about initiating something that's going to stop other kids from feeling what he did. Great, right? But I came over and I asked you something. I had you add something such that. Okay, go ahead and read it again.
Such that by setting up services that dive into what actually a kid is feeling and not just simply a set treatment for everyone and not going towards medicine. And then, like a side note, like I want to do something with psych, but I also do it with like my daily life with managing people. And it's just simply like with the managing wise, like there's so many different people that I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
And like right now, then we have one person that's not as advanced as other people. So we're like having to work with them more. And like I realized today, like, okay, I don't have to necessarily be in a hospital setting or a psych setting to do that kind of stuff. I can just do it on my daily life.
First of all, love that. Can everybody give a round of applause? Okay. What you just said is a masterful concept that is very difficult for a lot of people to grasp, and it's really well stated. When you realize that other people's experiences in life, you can't know it all. You can't, but you know that life comes with trouble, does it not? In this life, you will have trouble, but take heart. You ever heard that phrase? Okay, so in this instance, you not judging them and realizing that some people need extra support, right? Not everybody's on the same wavelength, and being able to be more on the psychological side, going deeper and being able to come to a foundational understanding. I love that. Now, we'll work on his too, but I want you to add such that also. So because what happened is he goes, I want to help other kids not feel the way I felt, such that this is the outcome, so that they can have truth and beauty in life, so that they can get the support they need, so that, right, such that. So I want to live free and live the life to my full potential, or however you said it, such that others can be inspired, such that others can be blessed by my hard work and efforts. I don't know. But you could put something in there, right? Right. What's great about the Keller Williams mission statement, and like I said, this personal life mission statement, who else is willing to share theirs, and we'll go down another path, because sometimes it's examples. Yes, Elise.
Because of what I've overcome, I will lead others to believe in themselves and their innate abilities to be strong and successful people in life, with family, friends, and business.
Wow. Okay. You definitely took that such that thing to the next level. And I love that, because you were starting to give examples, right? And if that's here, your life meaning potential, which I love, thank you for sharing that. You could add that into your real estate career, can't you?
I am.
Yes, you are. I know you are. Okay. And then people are coming alongside you in it. Aren't they? Because they see you and believe in you and know you're genuine. How cool. And so now you have a business succeeding through and with others.
Right.
So she's a little steps ahead of both of you in that regard, if that makes sense. But I guarantee you, there would be people, if they knew your story and if you articulated it really cleanly and really genuinely, would go, wow, I want to be a part of what he's doing. Or they go, that's me. I had that same thing, right? Imagine running into somebody that had a very similar experience to you, and you being already having grown in your maturity beyond what theirs is. You can be a leader to them, and that's what you wrote down. You can change lives like that. How cool! All right, who else is willing to share? Yes.
I want to make a positive difference in the lives of others and help give others the self-confidence to help themselves. Everything we do in life matters, not just for our own lives, but everyone we meet along the way.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's more of a statement rather than it's a personal mission statement. I love it. And I would say we almost kind of want to say the same thing, but using less words.
Mhm.
And I think that we could do that in time. Okay, perfect. Who else?
Kind of,
Yes.
mine's, anyway. Mine is just being a stay-at-home mom and being present for my family while working on my own time and showing the love of Christ in all that I do. Using my past hurts to guide others, but open a bakery that's a safe place.
I love it. And see how it's emotional? Isn't that cute? Everybody give both of them a round of applause. I love it. All right. So when we state things that really mean something, it is rightfully so to be an emotional thing. And so I love that you're willing to share that, and I like it very much. And so don't you think that we can build a business off of that? And I loved the name of it. What was it called?
My sweet lady.
Ah, it's so cute. Okay, well, we gotta
My
do.
husband actually named it.
Okay, you know I coach businesses, right? Like that's what I do.
Yep.
Okay, we can absolutely help you create that, all right? That would be super fun, and I think you deserve to do that. It's obviously a deep passion, so let's make that happen. Okay, who else? My man, are you willing to share?
Well, I'll share. I really don't know.
Yes.
I'm just,
Okay,
I don't know if that'll come along to me at some point, but my
Okay.
whole life I've been trying to figure out like
perfect.
what my passions are and
Okay,
who I am, I guess.
well, dude, how old are you?
14.
I love it. It's so great. Okay, so awesome. I love that you're here. I love that you were being honest just then. I have some cool tools we're about to touch on to help solidify everybody's, because everybody's feeling like that a little bit, just so you know. All right? So here we go. You ready? Oh, by the way, I don't want to leave this. It's addition. We're not leaving anything behind. So if we can't pass go, none of this can happen. But you're at the right age, bud. So good. So watch this. Answer the question, why am I alive? Right? Now, that's a hard statement, similar to, like I said earlier, what's your personal mission? Why are you alive? It's a similar question. And we didn't get to everybody's, but I want to guide through these step-by-step ways to do this. So I need you to be.
All in, Tim.
Okay.
All in,
Carly.
Tim.
Carly, you didn't say it. Okay, on three. 1, 2, 3.
I'm all in, Tim.
That was a little bit better. I really do need you all in. This is how important this is. Here we go. So step 1, you're gonna identify what you feel connected to, because this was just taking a stab at it, wasn't it? Right? And even then we got to something real, didn't we, Autumn? So what topics are you drawn to? You can absolutely start to create that, right? You know what topics you're drawn to: space, technology. What else?
Like investing money.
Oh, good. I love that. In 14 years old, and you're thinking about investing. This is so freaking awesome. Okay, good. So write those down. Now you can move into this page, which is 25. Go to page 25. And we're gonna start to write these things down. So let's follow step 1, and I'll draw it all together. What topics are you drawn to? You just wrote those down. Hunter, traveling,
Yeah, cars.
cars,
Got it.
hair,
Yep.
the Goldilocks. I love it.
Picking on you too.
No, I love it. I love it. Carly, things you're passionate about, things that you're drawn to. Ready, go.
Being content
Uh-huh.
with who I am and like being, I guess, happy with where I am.
I love that. I mean, that's not wrong. I'm just gonna say, okay, so things that draw happiness.
Yeah.
And contentment through happiness. I like that. Now, happiness comes and goes.
Yeah.
Can I give you a suggestion? This is totally off topic. It's called joy. Okay? Joy is constant. Happiness comes and goes. Okay? There are lots of times that I don't feel happy, but I have joy.
Yeah.
And so contentment and joy have a lot in common. So if you're grateful, if you're constantly looking to the things that you're grateful for, that can actually stay away the depression or negative thoughts. It's impossible, okay, this is a great quote. This is a very famous quote. It's impossible to be depressed and grateful at the same time. You hear that? So if you stay in a place of gratitude all the time, you a lot of times are able to manifest joy that way. Cool.
It's-
All right.
It's impossible to what?
It's impossible to be depressed and grateful at the same time. I had my little brother who really struggles with depression, and it comes and goes. It's a very, very clinical type thing. And yet, what I had him do, anytime that he was feeling super depressed, he had to call me and he had to have written 10 things he's grateful for. And by the end of the time that he usually wrote his 10 things, by the time he called me, he was in a place that he could actually like talk. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I love what you said, and I think but as far as topics that you're drawn to, so are you just watching positive podcasts? Are you reading positive, joy-filled books? You know, happiness books? Like what like when you're drawn to something, what does that mean?
I want to start getting into reading.
Okay.
But as of right now, I guess I'm not doing too much for it, which I need to work on, obviously.
Okay. Okay, I love it. Okay, thank you for being honest. Give her a round of applause. So, who or what is most important to you as another step? So we want to identify each one of these to go into step 2. Do we need to take a second, or have you already started answering some of these? No? Okay, I'm gonna put on some music and I want you to identify every single one of these. At least one or multiple things in every single one of these categories. Cool? Can you do that real quick? Otherwise, it's wispy. Here we go. Go ahead. And if you want help, I can come over and help you. I don't know why it does that.
Bluetooth connected.
If you need help, I will come help you, because this is the hardest part of the whole thing. Yes.
You said I was spineless, I wasn't strong. Yeah, you did so well. You did to me. Left me hurting so lonely.
Great.
After all those awful days, without you, still feeling me.
Just I'm like, nope, we're not gonna be local, we're not gonna be,
Okay.
I mean, that's the extent
Okay. I was just looking for myself. Yeah, I might. You're good? Okay. Okay, good. You do that. And last one is what impact on others out for the world. I think you're the cheap seats.
Cheap seats.
Okay. Everybody got something?
I'm just so
Everybody got some?
Yes.
You dork.
Kind of.
I'll tell you things.
No? These are hard to answer?
Yeah.
Still? Okay. Well, we can work on it, but I'm gonna go to step 2 for everybody else, and then I'll come over there. Okay, so here we go. Step 2, uncover your unique gifts. So this is part where you go, okay, so remember, this is writing our personal mission statement. These are kind of uncovering the materials. Okay, anybody like to cook? Okay, love it, love it. I am not a good cook, but I love using materials that are already there prepared. If that makes sense.
Oh, no, I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
Microwave pizza?
no,
Oh.
You like prepped dishes?
yeah, prepped dishes. I can really make a great meal if all the materials are there.
I know, that's how I cook.
Okay, and these are kind of like the materials. It's getting the tomatoes diced, it's getting the, potatoes ready, it's getting the dressing out or making right? These are the materials to make the meal, all right? And so it says, what things come easy to you? What gives you energy and fuels you personally? Is there something you would enjoy doing even if you were not being paid to do it? And/or if your creator came to you in a dream and told you that you were put on this earth for a specific purpose, what would they say it is? Pretty good. So I want you to also tackle these right now. I'm gonna put on the music again, but not that song because it was weird. And let's continue. Okay, coming out. First was, I loved it. First one that said, my passion, my purpose to benefit yeah, these are kind of notebook, but mine's little.
Yeah.
Go with it, okay? So what things come easy to you? Okay, cool. Writing these down. So write compassion. So what gives you energy and you feel inspired with it?
Waiting on the lips of yours to open up and say
If there's something you enjoy doing.
Things like traveling.
Travel to school.
now that I was brave enough to say it in the song you're in love.
And then, okay, so what does it say? You recognize.
Take my guns and make me light. Take my hand, hold on tight. Hold my hand tonight. I know I'll make it through.
Yeah, it's okay. So let's go back to step 1. I'm gonna change the slides for a second, I'll be right back.
Save me from myself. Oh, won't you save me from myself. Oh, won't you save me, save me, save me.
Put that in writing.
Callie. How long were your picture appointment? Did you go last?
5 minutes. He's just kind of there. No one's really
It's
upset.
a muscle we don't often use. Have you got yours, you feel like?
I'm going to the last one.
Oh, that's what tells us. Yeah. So these are, we work this muscle out a little bit. So when it comes with regards to traveling, obviously.
I would see here.
Okay. I believe it's my purpose. Through self-betterment. Use these words and capture your- So that's the next step. The next step is taking these two things together. Okay. I like this song. Okay, so when we take those two things together, we kind of mash them together. This is kind of what came out first, one of our students. Okay, so one of my students says, I love running, water sports, animals, and friends. I care about animals and living a healthy lifestyle. I want to help others learn to keep animals healthy. Carly, kind of sounds like some of the things that we talked about, right? And list number 2, I'm good at writing. I take care of animals, sharing my passions with others. I would foster animals even if I didn't get paid to do it similarly, right? Okay, and then I think I am on this earth to help abandoned animals. Love it, so sweet, so caring, so sweet, okay. And taking these ingredients and making a meal with it, this is what it looks like. The mission for my life is to help abandoned animals find loving homes by blogging about animal care and sharing my passion for animals with others. Carly, take a picture of that really quick. So we're gonna use that as kind of a framework to build yours. Because that's kind of what I stated in a finagly way for what you wrote down, because you had a couple words you liked. That was also part of it, like family. And what were a couple of the other ones? I loved them. The couple of those words. Compassion, what else?
Self-betterment.
Self-betterment. So we would maybe, plug and play with this framework for yours. Cool? Okay. So yeah, this is kind of what it looks like if you just break down the math of it. The math of it is, the mission for my life is to do something I have a passion for by implementing or through or with the unique gift, skill, or talent I possess, right? So if I feel like my God-given gifts are speaking, right? Speaking out to others, then I could use that skill to better others, correct? Yeah. Your ability for the hardships that you've gone through and felt, you have experience and real knowledge that could impart trust and success for others going through the same thing or who shouldn't go through the same thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you could be a protector and a guider as someone who's lived it and walked it. Cool. That validity is real. When someone else knows, if some psychotherapist is talking to some kid who's gone through hell and back, and the kid's just sitting there going, yeah, great, you've never had anything to do with what I've dealt with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, but there's somebody like you comes along and says like, yeah, this happened to me too. This happened to me, and this happened to me, and this and this and this, and the kid goes, you understand, right? Huh, I mean, come on, that changes lives.
So much power there.
So much power, it's ridiculous. And you could reach the unreachable at that point. So if you want to take a picture of this, this is the essence of how it all plays together. This is the foundation piece for creating a mission statement. That, you don't get much simpler than that. And I mean, it might look complicated, actually, I don't know, but to me, with how wispy and far off and unspecific it can feel, this makes things a lot more simple. Cool? Hi, Cassie. So, are we good? Anybody else willing to share theirs that we can move forward with? Read again. Can we try it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if mine's very good.
Okay, no, that's not about being good. Go ahead.
Where do you want me to start?
You could do either one. You could do step 1, step 2, or you could just shout out what you think that your mission is as the combination.
Okay, so in mine, I feel like it's kind of generic, but it's like truly what I think about when I think about like my life and what I'm
Good.
supposed to do.
Cool.
But I want to have my own family. Like if I have to choose one thing that I do for the rest of my life, that's what it is.
I love it.
And I would want to implement and use my compassion for others to help do that, just because I feel like I'm a caring, nurturing person. I've just always been that way.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I love
that's
it. And you see how the emotion comes out?
Yeah.
Thank you. Everybody give her a round of applause. Thank you for sharing that. That's very special, very special. And we could absolutely look at making that happen.
Yeah.
Okay, to take it up to a lighter note a little bit, I'll just tell a story of a gal that I had in my class one time. She goes, her mission, she goes, it's my mission to marry a doctor. And I thought that was so cute. And it was like, okay, great. And did I tell the story, Nicole, when you took this the first time?
I don't think so.
Okay, this is really special. This is maybe 4 years ago that this person said this, and I was like, that's great. And she goes, yeah, I just feel like it's impossible. And I'm like, it's definitely not possible. It's definitely not impossible. And I was like, but what is it about a doctor? And she goes, well, they make a lot of money. And I was like, okay, great. So you want security? And she's like, yes, I want security. I want to feel like I can make a family and not have to worry about finances. I grew up in a home where finances were always just completely in upheaval. And I was like, okay. So security through financial means is really big. I said, well, how, my question, to take it on a lighter note again at that moment, was to say, what are you doing to meet doctors? At least I think you'd follow me on this one, to say that in a similar way, when I coach real estate agents, they go, I want more clients. I said, okay, great. What are you doing to get clients? Right?
Right.
Yeah. What activities are you doing to get clients? Right, Rob? Yeah. So when it comes down to it, I go, I just took what I have always done in business and I just started implementing it to her. And I said, what are you doing to meet doctors? And she goes, I don't do anything to meet doctors. And I go, well, if you want to marry a doctor, we should probably make a plan to meet more doctors, don't you think? And she's like, how do I do that? And I go, well, where are doctors? And she's like, are you saying I'm going to go to a parking lot out of a hospital and just start, introducing myself to people? I'm like, well, technically you could. That is one way to meet doctors, I guess.
One way to get a
But
restraining.
I was like, are you going to meet the doctors at the nightclub on every Saturday night? No. Do doctors go to nightclubs? Very rarely. Go to where doctors are. She's like, are you saying I should just walk into hospitals? I was like, no, but maybe you should reach out to friends who have friends that are doctors. Or maybe you should, look through your relationships and go, who do I know that has doctor friends? Or that, right? Or who is a doctor, right? And it wasn't even about a doctor really. Like, we actually finally narrowed it down. But it was really funny to enter into something where she really wanted a family that was really secure, and that was really something that she could concentrate on, being a loving mother to her children and build up a thing. Does that make sense? Similar. I just love what you said, and it was really from the heart, and I loved it. So do you see how if we tap into it just briefly, even if it's just dating form? And remember, I'm going to show you mine. So I think I have it right here. Hold on. Yeah. So remember when I said my mission? And so this is what I originally had written down after that class. I said, I believe my purpose is to find, train, lead, and inspire the next generation of leaders for the betterment of our country and the world. But then over time, it kind of grew into this next statement. And the next statement was, the mission for my life is to empower others as a leader worth following. Through my passion and example, inspire the next generation of leaders who rise above the best to fulfill their purpose with abundance, joy, and significance for their creator, right? So do you see how this is deeper? It might be a little wordier, but it's got this up here in it in a way, but it's graduated. It's become more about what I love. It's become more about who I am. You seeing that? So if we take this one, like you just wrote or said up here, over time, it could become something that even is more specific and tangible for what it can do. Okay? All right, anybody else want to share theirs? Because this is the time to do it. Otherwise, we're gonna move on and you're gonna kind of not have it written. Yes, ma'am.
Giving of myself by coming alongside others, such that by doing so,
Yes, love it.
leading others to believe in themselves as others believed in me, helping them to overcome, heal, and live a life worth living. I love Keller Williams' mission statement, and I can't get away from that, so I think I'm gonna leave it.
I'm so glad.
I love
You can
that.
rip off and duplicate, girl. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
well, I did.
Good. Oh, that was really great. Everybody give her a round of applause. Yeah, that was beautiful. And honestly, you've grown big time since the first time you took this, because I know this was very difficult for you. I remember you sitting right over here when you took it.
Really?
Yes. And it was really hard. This part was really difficult for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm interested to read what it was.
I would be interested to see what it was. Okay, so your mind map and your productivity. Remember how I said now that you've decided who you are, right? So if you kind of stated that, Regan, and then you go, okay, now what are we gonna go do about it? We take that passion that creates tears and we go, okay, what am I gonna go do about it? And be productive. Your life productivity. Okay, we spent way more time on this than I normally do, but I felt like it was really a good time to actually take this on. And there's a quote at the bottom of that one. Can you read that one?
When you take responsibility for your life, you take back your power over your life.
When you take responsibility, oh shoot, that's a big one. Read it louder one more time.
When you take responsibility for your life, you take back your power over your life.
Wow. Wow, these are big. If you're catching this, this is huge. Okay, so I'm gonna tie it all in a bow real quick. Okay, this is a lot. Be all in.
Molly,
Tim. Yes. Here we go. Your life productivity, you maximizing your life meaning potential. We're gonna create your mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspective, your MVVP. The 6 keys to abundance, the 6 keys of areas of discipline, the 5 key relationships. I took this from another place and we can talk about this at another time if you'd like, but we're not gonna stay there. So we're gonna take that life productivity that we just talked about for your life mission and your personal statement, and you're gonna say your personal productivity. We're gonna go out and do something, and you're gonna maximize your career potential with some, some cool tools like a GPS that we talked about. So we're gonna have, a goal. We're gonna have the plan, which is the GPS to guide us there. And then we're gonna have the 411, which is creating accountability so that you have people around you that are also alongside you in it. And then we're gonna have time blocking. Remember when we said time blocking a few times? Because if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. So we're gonna block out the time for you to actually live in that world. And you're gonna have accountability with it. So then, once you have personal productivity, we're gonna have your business productivity, maximizing your potential through others. Your future husband, if you will, is gonna be a partner with you in guiding this great family you guys are gonna create, correct? I would imagine.
I hope so.
I hope so, okay. And you're gonna hire, train, and manage. I would say that if people looked at finding their spouse more like hiring, it would be better. You need candidates, you need to have standards and expectations, and you need to be able to be very vocal and communicative as a partnership, right? That's interesting. We have a whole class that started out, it was called Recruit Select. Okay, and then the second part of it was called Train, Lead, and Motivate. So it's RSTLM, Recruit, Select, Train, Lead, and Motivate. And now it's called Career Visioning. And so we're just going to do a career visioning process to find your future husband. Does that sound cool? Does that sound good?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Let's go find somebody wreckingly awesome. Okay, and we're going to hire this person. We're going to train them to be great, and they'll train you too. And then we're going to manage that relationship and protect it. Does that sound good? Okay. And then, so that's like the business, because her business is going to be growing a great family. Doesn't that make sense? Is there anything wrong with that? No? There's nothing better than being a great mom. There isn't. I don't think there's anything better than that. So there you go. And it also can go into when you create great people, the financial productivity, because what our business is just made of people, right? So financial productivity comes from that, which maximizes your potential through the others and money. And so you set aside money. You invest for security first, freedom second, invest in what you know and understand, and hold your money accountable. That's a whole other thing we can talk about for a week's time. But I'm gonna say that that's really the whole cycle. Isn't that crazy? Do you like the bow? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. If you want to take a picture of that one, that is, I manufactured that right there. That is my little fingerprint on the QL material right there. So we are at the end of the blue section. So go ahead and turn the page. Yes, yes. And what page number is that? We're gonna read this together, this section right here on page 26. So we're gonna read it out loud because there's power in words, all right? So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and then we'll start reading it together. Cool? 1, 2, 3. I dug deep to make sure I'm steering my own choices. I am open to a slight yet significant change. I recognize what I manifest in the physical world always begins in my mind. I recognize learning, working, and playing as essential parts of life throughout life. I prioritize so that I can live a counterbalanced life. I have identified the things that matter most in my life. I choose to make my future the authority over today. Pretty good. So there's a little thing on the side here, and I don't think we have enough time to just sit here and fill it out. So you can fill it out later, which would be awesome if you did. And we're also going to, oh yeah, by the way, here's some other little fun ones that I've taken over time. I used to have it where everybody got this gigantic piece of paper and we all wrote our mission statements on the wall. And these are a bunch of the ones that they've written over the years that are super fun. Let's see, what's this one? The mission for my life is empowering women to overcome their obstacles and gaining inspiration through my writing and music. Cool. You guys see any other ones you like? My mission is to help special needs kids such that they can have fun and experience life through different physical activities. Cool. So what we did is we got these on the wall. It meant something to them. And then all of a sudden we started creating the plan to actually move forward. Because remember, it says, who are you? And then what are you going to go do about it? Productivity. So that's the section that we're in right now. Unleashing the extraordinary you. Now that you kind of have a much clearer vision than you did earlier today, right? Now you actually have something you could possibly say if I said, what's your personal mission, right? So then we go, okay, so here we go. You will be empowered now to appreciate success as a science that anyone can employ, adopt the mindset of success, create powerful habits through selected discipline, and evaluate the relationships needed to foster and support your best possible life. Oh, I already had that one. And so what does success look like? Here is Gary talking about the science of success. Do you guys need a break to go to the bathroom really quick? Are you okay? You okay? You're broken. I'll just say this really quick. The science of success, observed results. We see the results oftentimes, but we're not seeing the science behind it. So okay, that's this video right here.
So one of the things I want to talk to you about, I just want to lay this on to you, is that you believe in science, yes or no? Yes? Okay. So you believe in the laws, what we would call the laws of science or the laws of nature, right? Yes or no? Okay. Do you believe in gravity?
Yes.
Do you see gravity?
No.
What do you see? You see the effects of gravity. Do you believe in air?
Yes.
Do you see air?
No.
What do you see?
The effects of it.
Yes, you see the effects of air. Exactly. So what's interesting is that you built your life around, absolutely, you base every minute and second of your life on gravity and air, two things that you've never seen. but you believe in them because you've seen the effect, yes? Okay. Well, there is the science of success, and it's as real and as grave as gravity. Okay? You can't see the science of success. What can you see? There you go. There you go. And one of the biggest challenges I have with people is when I start talking about the science of success and the laws of success, what crud do they give me back? Well, that's just your opinion, Gary. And I go, well, do you think that gravity is an opinion? You can't see it, can you? No. Well, why are you calling the laws of success an opinion? It's not an opinion, it's a researched conclusion that if you behave this way, this is the result you get. And it's no different than the science of nature. And yet most people are unwilling to give themselves over to the laws of success. Wallstein Smith, who was the head of the real estate department at Baylor University, he turned to me one day and he said, "You're a pretty smart guy, Gary." I worked for him part-time my senior year. And he goes, "You're a pretty smart guy. When you talk, but I want to tell you something, kid. People have lived before you, and you might want to study what they know before you start telling me what you know." Whoa. I've never forgotten it. I mean, it's totally right. People live before you. So when we talk about the laws of success, the science of success, I want you to understand that all we're talking about is observed results. People behaved this way, and then we can come out with statistical probabilities based upon that behavior. We're going to get certain results, yes or no? Yep. They call that the science of success.
Okay, what do we hear?
It's not necessarily something we can see, but we feel it like gravity.
Very true. Elise.
We can see the top-down report, so we see the results of others' success. But if we're not going to the top 20% mastermind, we're not seeing what it's taking to get to that part of the top-down.
And they're openly sharing what it's taking. Okay, we see everything up here. But what we didn't see was the passion and the failure and the sacrifice and the discipline and the rejection and the rest that it took and the fear and the evaluation or elevation. I can't say it. Elation? Elation. Pain, goals, doubt, time, support, hope, loss, all the things. This stuff was all happening. Are you seeing that? This is the science. This is what you see. See somebody, you're like, wow, I wish I had a gold medal. Yeah? Do you want to look at what it would take to do that? Let's look at it real quick. Let's just pour out a little bit of that on you and see if you have what it takes. 99.9% of people don't have what it takes because they don't have the passion for it. That person had the passion for it. Believe it or not, so I was almost a pro soccer player for a while. And I was a pro snowboarder, actually. But I was going to say, when it came to soccer, I loved soccer. There were guys that were better than me, though, that got out earlier than me. There was a guy named Sam Tillery. Loved him. He was like a brother to me. He was genuinely better than me at soccer. But he stopped doing it. It wasn't his passion. I went farther all the way up through college, right? But he stopped in high school. He probably could have easily gone pro. I'm not kidding. At like 15, 16 years old, he was probably one of the best soccer players I've ever seen on the field. Ever. All the way up into and through college. With the hardest, best players, right, at the time. This stuff, he lost the passion for it. You've got to have that deep passion for what it is you want. And you do have it. And you have it. What would it mean for you, William, if you were able to come alongside just 10 young people and that are going through really hard stuff, and you were able to guide them through the emotional intelligence and the wherewithal and the past experiences you've had, and you guided them through that so that they didn't have to go through the darkness that you've gone through? What would that mean to you?
In a great amount.
It would mean a great amount. It would mean a great amount just for you. What would it mean to them?
Sure, a lot.
Everything.
It would mean everything, right? Think about that. When you think about your stuff you want to do, what you wrote down, your cool bakery, right? And you're just being a great mom, and for them to see their mom fulfill something big like that, for them to watch you be unlimited mindset and going big on what you are really passionate about, being a great wife, being a great mom, and going big. What does that do for them?
Build confidence.
Yeah, what would that mean to you?
Oh, I don't know.
We'd have to spend a day on it just to research down deep on it, right? Yeah. Callie,
Yes.
what about you?
I'm just looking at all these things.
When you signed up to go into the military,
Yeah.
isn't this all the stuff you had to go through?
Times of thousands.
Times of
trillions,
thousands.
millions.
Yeah. And all those things and what you've learned and the habits you've created and who you've become, when you apply that to real estate and what you had to do, this is the same stuff in real estate. Rob, patience, I think a little bit, David, for real estate. Whoa, we have to be therapists in real estate.
Talk them off the ledge sometimes.
You gotta talk them off the ledge. Courage, do we have to have courage in real estate? Going into negotiations on some heavy deals, standing up for our clients, all kinds of things like that? Rob, does this all apply to real estate? Every single one of them does. And it's the same thing in all parts of our life, isn't it? To be a great mom, right? To be a blessing to others, Carly, right? And to be caring for others. And what was the other one? You wrote down a couple other ones. I forget what they were.
Like compassion and family.
Compassion,
and-
family, what were the other ones?
Self-betterment.
Self-betterment. Isn't this self-betterment? Yes, and so it's a science of success. You do these things, you act this way, you behave in this manner, and you will see the results show up. You will. You will. Space, you think all this stuff? A rocket ship going into space took how many people unified together using all of their skills and all of their unique gifts in the right way as a team to get that sucker up there, right? How many people are sitting in that control room when they do a launch? It's like 100 people that are the best in the world at that thing, and they're managing that one thing. Am I right? Yeah. SpaceX, legit. But that's what we're talking about. It's about having a passion for that and sticking with it, right? This is your one life. Just saying. This is it. This is the Super Bowl, the way I like to say it sometimes in team meetings. This is the Super Bowl. Be you, start today. Success is an inside job. And the quote is, oh yeah, there it is. Oh, remember when I said this one? Don't chase money. Oh, what is going on? Don't chase money and success. Figure out who you are and be that. Then the money and the success chase you. That's the truth of it. Gary Keller's a pretty smart guy. So we're gonna do these categories. I'm not gonna read them all out loud because my voice is gonna start to go out. So, do we need a break yet? Are we okay?
Okay.
We're good. How many hours does it take to master something?
10,000?
You got it, nicely done. 10,000 hours. Now, mastery has no end result. Okay, it literally, when you think about it, black belt. You see the black belt? It's a way of thinking, it's a way of acting, and it's a journey you experience. Okay, there's a great story that goes along with this. And the guy who invented judo, you guys know what judo is, the martial art judo, right? Judo was the guy who invented it. The headmaster sensei of judo was on his deathbed and he was dying. And he asked the guys, because his whole dojo was around him. This is a documented thing. This is real. This whole dojo, thousands of judo masters are around him and he's passing away on his deathbed. And he asks them, he goes, I want you to bury me in my white belt. And they're all like, Sensei, no, you're the master. You literally are the highest level black belt. You're the man, you know? And he goes, no, I'm starting a new journey. Isn't that interesting? And I want you to think about that because he saw that it was finishing one thing and starting something new, right? Similarly, I want you to think about your old life, like when Gary said, I'm taking your innocence away today. I'm taking your ability to be a victim away because we're giving you the tools and telling you exactly what it's going to take and what's needed in order to have the life that you want. And so it's up to you to take advantage of it or not. It's up to you. Say this, if it's to be, if it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to me. And that's what a black belt thinks like. This is the thinking, it's the acting, it's a journey you experience. There's no end result. Mastery, you can live in mastery though, right? You can do the 10,000 hours and be a master of something like the piano or the violin or whatever. But you crush it on your 20%, and this is a whole nother topic. And actually, we can go there real quick. No, wait, there's a quote. Read that one. Ooh, listen and listen.
When you can see mastery as a path as you go down instead of a destination you arrive at, it starts to feel accessible and attainable.
It does. A lot of times people look at this end result, they're like, it's so far away. No, it isn't. You start on the path of mastery and you just go, I suck at it now, but guess what? I'm going to get better every day. I'm just going to get better every day. Small bite-sized pieces. Truly. When we get into real estate, I'm telling you, I deal with real estate people all the day long, right? And some of them are brand new, like, what do I need to do next? I'll be like, go do this. Okay. The ones that go do that, the ones that just go do what I tell them to do or that the book says to go do, because a lot of times I'm telling them exactly what the book says to do. Because what is it? A proven model in a system, right? Go behave this way. Okay, I will. Right? And then they come back. I did it. What's next? Do this. Okay. Right? In the military, is that not it? Chain of command. Bam. Done. End of story. Go do it. Love it. Oh, I would have done really well in the military, I guarantee you. Okay. Other than I challenge things a lot of times.
Yeah.
So crush it on your 20%. Most people's day is doing everything else they need, but then there's a little sliver of actually doing what's most important. I'll just do this little thing like lead generation, for example. Don't look at the man behind the curtain.
I'm running, don't worry.
All right. When it comes to doing what's most important, how do you even know? Your 20% is what's most important, and the 80% is what takes up most of the rest of the time. So sadly, I would say, Stacy, you have your business. Doing the actual revamping of the property, moving furniture around, having the vision to see what can be done with the spaces, all that stuff, that you've honed that skill and you're good at it. And yet really, as the business owner, most of your time should be used to getting new clientele. If it's a profitable business, if it's gonna create money, your time should be spent doing what matters most, which is to generate more business and having a team of people going out and doing the stuff that the business offers, right? And as realtors, we should be doing 5 things. Just this is inside knowledge for you people that are not in real estate, but you're going to go on listing appointments. You're going to go on buyer consultations. You're going to lead generate. You're going to train, and you're going to hire. That's it. If you're a mega agent, if you're going to do this well, that's all you do. And so if that's what's most important, fill your day with mostly that, and then you'll be fine. Right? I mean, right? Mm-hmm. So don't be normal. Everybody normally, be the exceptional. It's not that big of a difference. You just take and you prioritize your day and you schedule out and time block. You're going to hear me say that a lot, for what's most important. So want extraordinary results? Learn to focus on what actually matters most. Say, that's simple, Tim. That is. Success is simple, not easy. There we go. So we're not going to do this. And oh, yes. Okay, so I had the president of Max Coaching come out to an event that I've hosted for all of my business to business relationships. I would love to have a baker in my business to business relationships with such a cute name. And I have lots of mothers that are great moms that are also licensed that refer business to my team, and I give them back referral fees for being great moms and that refer business to my company. Cool. I work with youth that have had troubled stuff because I've gone through a ton of stuff also, and I can totally enter in most of the time for what's gone on in their lives. Cool. Now, I'm saying all this because we have business to business relationships that we can build up and guide as well in our journey. Hunter, what have you done for work before?
I worked next door at Thompson's.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. And did you do anything before that?
I worked at Panera Bread.
Oh, cool. Okay, that's great. And not that that's a bakery in a way, kind of like yours. Yours would be like a small, mom and pop shop type place, and his is more of a chain in that regard. And you would be just working there rather than the owner of it. But let's say you were the owner of a Panera Bread location. I would love to have him as a business to business relationship and absolutely want to send people to you if you would be willing to send people to me also as a realtor, right? Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And I love being in business with you, and it's fun to refer each other, right? David, I'm sure you've got lots of people that you could refer your clients to for plumbing, heating and air, roofing, electrical, landscaping, right? Probably. After years of having been in business yourself, and you had a whole side business for a long, long time after you were in real estate for a long time.
Yeah, our business has been around 30 years.
There you go. So business to business relationship's important. And I'm going to say this geometric progression that we're about to talk about, when I invited the MAPS president to come out and speak to all of them, this is what our event looked like. So I'm going to play a little video real quick. And you're going to see a younger Tim McCall.
Hurting communities can
Not
become
this.
healing communities. Adversity can be felt through.
The one thing is about changing your life and really allowing some of the goals, the hopes, the dreams that you've always had and making those a reality.
How many would love to have a much bigger influence in your life? To have a different result, you have to do what? You gotta what? You gotta change. So what's the domino effect? How many have ever played with domino? What we do know is the domino can knock over bigger, and that's where it really gets exciting. The 2-inch domino can knock over a domino 50% larger than itself, a 3-inch domino. 50% larger, 50% larger, 50% larger. At 18, you're at the Leaning Tower of Pisa. 23 dominoes later, you're as high as the Eiffel Tower. At 31, you're at Mount Everest, the tallest mountain in the world. And at 57, you're now at the moon. You started with 2 inches and you ended up at the moon 57 dominoes later. You're the lead domino. You are the beginning of all things. That it starts with you.
This is the only time you have. And we don't really know how much time left we have. So it's really making this a priority, being purposeful about our time and giving this everything you've got in this one life you have.
Kind of fun. And that was to illustrate this, which is, see if I can do it. That geometric progression. A domino knocks over a bigger one. And if you line up the dominoes, which is what most people don't do, they go to a class like this, or they go to a motivational speaker like, I don't know, Tony Robbins or something, or they go somewhere big and hear something awesome, or they see a movie that really inspires them, but they leave and then they go, oh, okay, regular life is back again. Don't let that happen. You actually leave something like that. You've got notes that meant something to you. You wrote down something that was inspirational or that really meant something to you, or even a quote, let's say, but you line up the dominoes and you make those the focus of a week of the year. Okay, so you're like, what are you talking about? Week of the year? What are you talking about, Tim? A lot of times, wait, remember how many dominoes it takes? So it goes, one domino knocks over a bigger one. By the 18th domino, it's knocking over a domino by the size of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And then by the 31st, it's literally looms over the the top of Mount Everest, right? And then by the 57th domino, it's literally the distance to the moon. Do you guys know how far away the moon is? Okay, just to give you an idea. Okay, is the Earth pretty big? Yeah. Do you know how big Jupiter is? Okay, you can fit 3 Earths in the red spot on Jupiter. Did you know that? That's how big Jupiter is. It's so large. I forget exactly how many Earths you can fit inside it, but it's like ginormous, right? And Neptune, Uranus, Venus, Mars, all the other planets, okay? If you lined them all up, it would be about 250,000 miles across. I think it's more than that, but I think it's right around there. You can fit the entire distance of all the planets in between the surface of the Earth and the moon. That's how big that domino is. I just wanted to throw that out there. Exponential progression is outrageous. And if you line up the dominoes appropriately, if you actually take the things that you're learning, the ideas you've got, the steps along the way to get big things, like Rob, you and I are working on some cool stuff in Bolivar, right? It's about lining up the dominoes though, right? And so if you line them up well and you knock it down, all of a sudden, it starts that progression. One domino leads to knocking down the next one, okay? And so there's 52 weeks in the year, not 57, sadly, that would have been really cool. But I'm gonna say there's 52 weeks in the year. And so if you line up just 52 of the dominoes, 1 per week, and if that's your focus, let's say creating your website is a domino for your cool bakery. If you've got a website, it creates validity. It creates places for people to go to, and then you could start being able to take orders online. Who knows, right? That's a domino for an example, okay? Finding your future husband. You got any good prospects yet? Yeah? All right, cool. I didn't know that. Yeah. All right, well, and great. Maybe there is a cool thing you could do to work on, your relationship together, right? And so that solidifies and strengthens that marriage and strengthens that relationship forever going forward so that it's that much more of a healthy relationship and a home. Okay. Callie, for you beginning your real estate career, this class, you were told about it by, was it Kirk?
I think so.
Yeah, when we were introduced. And I said, you should come, right? This class could be considered a domino in a way. And just starting this, but revisiting, like Gary said, this material is something you should plan and develop out for the rest of your career in a way, like scripture. Okay, and so lining up the dominoes is something that most high-level professionals do that others don't. It really sets you apart. Okay, so I think we might want to take a break because we have our this is our last hour. So let's take a 6-minute break, hit the bathroom, do whatever, because the last hour I want to nail home and then we'll head out for the day. Cool? All right, can we all be focused for our last hour? Okay.
Blackfish. Tim.
Yes?
Blackfish.
Yes.
That's the name of the Netflix. I think, if that's the one.
I think you're right.
Yeah. There's Blackfish and then I think there was like Seaspiracy.
He's hurting a lot.
Yes, yes.
It just came to me.
I love that you thought of that.
We're gonna have like 6 left. So good. I only had like 6 left. So 6 left. I thought it was fuller than it was. I think Ben found it.
Yeah. I've got a good response.
She what?
She just loves it.
I know, I told her almost to not be here for it. You guys put up there. Sometimes it makes it a little bit harder.
She loves to talk about herself.
I know, I can hear it, I can hear it.
I know.
Nothing you can do. Cool. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Yeah. So who's this great guy that you know?
His name's Max. We've been
Because
8 years and been dating for 5.
You've been dating for 5 years?
what does he do?
He owns a couple of businesses in Smartsfield, so he opened a mountain bike shop a couple of years ago, and then we just opened a mountain bike park in Bradenton in May, and then we just bought a yeah, it's
I love mountain biking.
busy, but it's lots of you.
I do. I have a specialized stump jumper. Love it.
Oh man, see, and I don't know like all the stuff, but I know like the how we need to do this.
I wish I hadn't just bought my wife's bike, because I just bought her a bike.
What kind of bike?
It's a cruiser, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just, yeah, comfortable. No.
But yeah, so busy all the time.
Well, okay, so I'm starting to learn and wanting to experience other trails here.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure you guys probably know all the trails.
So everything is, so the bike park we just opened is Howard Bike Park. So basically what it is it's like a downhill based park. So you shuttle
I grew up on
and ride.
downhill.
Yeah, so you shuttle up and then ride down.
Cool.
But Two Rivers is a good option. There's Zachary. They're all
Where's Two Rivers?
They're all
Been down there?
Haven't yet.
You like mountain biking? We need to get with Joel. He's needing somebody to mountain bike ride.
Oh, dude, I love mountain biking. Yeah, I haven't done it for a little while, and I'm like, I need to get back out.
He's 2. Last year, right before my surgery, he bought a new mountain bike. He was like,
Yeah, oh, that's what mine was. Yeah.
Anyway, he's traded in Orbea, and bought this one. And he's really.
It's crazy. It's crazy. For that hurts inside. I was gonna say, yeah, it's funny how I can spend the same, like I can buy a motorcycle or I can buy a mountain bike. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
The components now are
Yeah.
so wild.
But it's so much more fun when you have somebody to ride with. So if you ever want to ride.
Hey, buddy.
Okay, so something my mom said it was a lot. I really wish I could say.
No, we live in Springfield, but we just opened a bike park in Bradenton.
Okay, I heard
Yeah,
On a break,
so.
if you're gonna be able to.
Awesome.
Yeah, very fun.
I don't ride mountain bikes because I'm not very coordinated.
That's okay.
I'm like more the cruiser
Cruiser
style.
either, yeah. It's just, I mean, it's a fun.
Yeah, no, I'm loving that you're
There's a
here.
lot of people that's.
You guys are special. I'm so happy.
You know,
So,
they wouldn't even know,
yeah.
so.
Yeah,
Very cool.
You got it.
He likes,
All right, well, have a
he
great
has
day.
every hobby
And
under
we'll
the
see you
sun.
tomorrow.
He just got a electric unicycle. This is his newest thing.
Oh my gosh.
And then he has the one wheels and.
Yeah.
He's got the hobbies and I'm pretty boring.
There's balance.
All right,
Nothing wrong with that.
here we go. Because this next section is super good. I remember learning this, and I was sitting there like, that makes so much sense. This is gonna give a lot of clarity, in my opinion, if you're anything like me. Because I was like, oh, why, what? How did I not know this before? Okay. We've all made to-do lists, I'm sure. Yes? All right. Well, I would rather you now, from going forward, not do any more to-do lists. You will make success lists. Say success list.
Success list.
All right. So a success list is when you have a to-do list, but you have could-dos and you've got should-dos on it. And oftentimes the could-dos get done and the should-dos get pushed off, sadly. And so what instead we want to be able to do is take those should-dos, bring them over and create those as the list. Because the could-dos sap the energy from the should-dos. They do. And the time a lot of times. I could clean my desk. And that doesn't help you because you need to be calling your clients back, or you need to be setting the appointment, or you need to be calling for who knows what. But you know what I'm saying? Don't do the to-do list. Shove it over to the should-dos to make the success list. I loved this one, but it pertains right to this, which is there is a natural ceiling of achievement for everybody. Some people's are a lot higher than others. Rachel Lusk upstairs, who's our MCA, our Market Center Administrator, she's one of the most capable people I've ever met in my life. No joke, hands down, not even a question. She's rare. Her ceiling of achievement is far higher than 98% of all the population of the world's history. I mean, that's something to say. Okay, and you're fine, come on. So the natural ceiling of achievement, you've hit it before if you've worked hard. If you've worked hard, you will hit your natural ceiling of achievement. And it starts out with you being entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurial. You're doing what comes naturally though. So you're like, I'm passionate about the bakery and I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna make my cool stuff and I'm gonna have a cool logo and whatever. And then you reach a certain level of potential and then it goes and it will plateau. It will. Unless you open a second location, right? Or unless you create a new product line of some sort, or you start marketing differently. But let's say you do what comes naturally and you hit that ceiling of achievement and your life suffers like mine did. Remember when I was telling you about my story? And I was like, got into real estate, skyrocketed, but then I hit my ceiling of achievement and almost got a divorce and my life was falling apart and all the things. That disappointment can cause resignation. And that's the second part, is that you get disappointment, then you get resignation, and then you go, I know, I'll become a lender. Okay, I look for greener pastures, right? I look for greener pastures. I go, I know that, that looks way easier. And then you go become a lender and you hit that same thing and you go, oh, the cycle continues again and again. I'm telling you right now, you're going to think about this later, especially you young guys. I'm going to say this happens a lot. People look for greener pastures when stuff gets difficult and they're pushed to their limits and they hit ceilings. Even realtors, excuse me, realtors they get too busy or maybe they're not busy enough and they start looking for easier things. Here's a quote that just came to me again. Most goals are not achieved. Hold on, see if I can say it correctly. Most goals aren't achieved, not because of obstacles, but because of a clearer path to a lesser goal. Okay, now it's been a long day, but if you can understand what I just said, it's pretty freaking epic. Most goals or life missions aren't achieved because of obstacles. They're not achieved because of a clearer path to a lesser goal. Where let's say somebody said, I'm gonna do 100 deals this year. And then they start on that way, and then they're like, oh, I didn't do good these last 3 months. Okay, 100 deals, that sounds like a lot more than I could put in. So they start going, I'll just do 50. A clearer path to a lesser goal. Let's say you're gonna take on this cool trip around the United States, follow my journey of camping at all these cool places that you're gonna do your videos on. And you started off and you realized that your tires wore out and it cost you a lot more than you expected. And you keep going and you get robbed at one of the places. And you go to the next place and you break your ankle along the way. Stuff happens along the way, right? And so all of a sudden you're like, no, I'm not gonna do all of the campgrounds. I'm just gonna do a third of them. It's a clearer path to a lesser goal. I could do it for every single person in here. Rob, same thing. We could say, oh, we love this spot on the square, but it's a little bit more than we expected. And I don't know if it would really draw the people. So we'll just do this other little janky spot a little bit farther back that's way cheaper. And then you don't get the results. right? Traveling and doing your cool stuff. Sometimes there are clearer paths to a lesser goal. It's like, shoot, the pandemic hit, right? Stuff like that can cause major upheaval in our lives. So what causes us to go from E and what's going to go up here is to be purposeful, because that was doing what comes naturally. And here's that ceiling of achievement. And in order to break through the ceiling, we're going to have to do what comes unnaturally. Say unnatural.
Unnatural.
So when you're entrepreneurial, you're like, yeah, passion, going for it. But then when you're doing that, remember, I was passionate and I had a lot of energy and I was young and I was techie and I'm go for it. But I hit that ceiling like a freaking freight train. And then I resignated. But then what happened? I got purposeful after reading the MREA book. Remember? And the MREA book shows and teaches you how to do certain things that are unnatural, right, Elise? They are. Time blocking 3 hours a day to do lead generation and or lead follow-up is not natural. Right, David? It just isn't. And then, but you get in the zone and you start getting into a routine and you start realizing that you can lead generate in all kinds of ways, like at church, right? The relationships is really what's key. So realistically, and okay, let me hear you. I'm gonna say something really quick. For all my realtors in the room and for everybody else that's ever gonna do business, I realized that there were other realtors that shouldn't be getting the business. I realized that there are bad realtors out there and that they're getting clients. And they're not doing their fiduciary duty and they're causing horrendous reputation for realtors. And I was like, what the heck? This is really bad. I had no idea how bad a lot of them were. Not to say that all of them are, but there are a few bad ones that do a lot of business and you just go, I can't believe it. And so I got really motivated and really specific after reading the MREA because I started realizing I could have a life while doing a lot of real estate. Okay, big foundational principle. And I go, not on my watch. I am going to go and I'm going to be so much better at marketing. I'm going to be so much more purposeful and I'm going to do what comes unnaturally so that I can win those clients over so that they won't use those douchebag realtors. Yeah, see, and Elise was like, yeah. And yeah, Rob knows it, right? There are bad ones and I want to protect the clients from using them. And so I got really specific and we went big real fast. And how did we do it? You ready? This is big. We had focus, okay? We got focused with that passion, with that understanding of knowing exactly what we wanted. We had built our MVVBP. We had gotten specific with our standards and expectations of our company. We've gotten incorporated. We started really getting good and we had models to follow. The MREA, the book, the red book, right? And so that became the model. We followed those systems and we created this momentum, baby. This momentum was palpable. People were watching it and going, what are you doing? Other agents would call me because I had moved over to Keller Williams. They thought that was the stupidest thing ever because I was the #1 agent in Bradley Real Estate. And they were like, why would you move? What the heck? This is a bad idea. Keller Williams is whatever. And they're nothing. And I didn't care. I'm like, no, they wrote this book. I've met the people. I've gone to the events. This is rock star stuff. And so then what happened is it actually broke through that ceiling of achievement because it creates the breakthroughs, focus, models, systems, breakthroughs, moving from E to P. Being purposeful, not letting life happen to you, rolling with the punches. Getting better. Remember that slide with the people on the first, second, and third place with all that stuff below. That's really what this means. It creates a momentum to shove through that wall of ceiling of achievement. It wasn't all on my shoulders. I had potential through others. People that joined my team, like Kim Mooneyham. You being alongside Kim is like my favorite thing. You guys are like two peas in a pod. I just think it's hysterical. And what the potential you guys have together is so much better than Kim on her own ever. Am I right? I mean, if you just stopped the woman from going around and talking to everybody in the world, the girl, who knows what she could achieve on her own. But I'm gonna say aligning with somebody like you where your culture is so unified, right? That's really special. And so that can cause that breakthrough, that ceiling of achievement. I suck at spelling. Some people look down on me for that. I go, I can make a lot more money than you, so goodbye. Yeah, limiting belief, get behind me, Satan, that kind of thing, right? Okay, now, sometimes I say stuff that I just like, did I just say that out loud? There's a funny statement that I had my number one competitor, he was a little bit older than me. He was with W Real Estate. And his name's Randy Waller. He's a very, very great businessman. And he's a good person. And one day, and we would just go head to head. And like I'd be number one year, and then he'd be number one. And then I'd be number one again. And then he built a whole brokerage. And now he has like 400 people that work for him. And so technically, if you think about it, his company does more business than we do. But I'm like, whatever. Right. So one day we're walking past each other at the not the GSBOR, but very similar, our version of the GSBOR. We're walking past and we walk past and I'm like, hey dude, what's up? Give each other a high five. He goes, I made more money than you this year. Okay. It's funny, little friendly competition. I was like, and I don't know where it came from, but it was like, God struck my brain right at that moment. And I was like, I bet I had more time off than you. And he was like, oh. Because what do mega agents struggle with, Elise? Time. We are slammed. If we don't have leverage, are running like chickens with our heads cut off. And if you don't have systems and standards in business, Regan, your future husband, sounds like awesome. And I was talking with her about this guy that was what she likes. So, and I think I clicked the thing, sorry. You guys are expanding potentially. You're growing these businesses. I love it. Super fun. And without being careful, it can take up all the time, right? Yeah. And so when I meet with agents, when I'm recruiting appointments or something like that, I'll say, so are you looking for more business? Are you looking for more money? Or are you looking for more time? And most of the time they're like, I need to get my life back in order. I haven't taken a vacation in 4.5 years. You're like, oh. Right? Okay, what does it mean to not have taken a vacation for 4.5 years? My wife is really pissed at me. And I go, yeah, I'd be pissed at you too. Right? You get the idea. But sometimes learning is what's important, being a learning-based individual so that you can step outside of what's not working for you, so that you can think differently. Leaders have to teach people how to think so that they can get what they want when they want it. That's a big quote. Leaders have to teach people how to think so that they can get what they want when they want it. Not the leader, but the person that you're teaching, right? Leaders have to teach people how to think in order to get what they want when they want it. Okay. So I know what I know, and I know that there's more to know. Remember when it was like the desire to know, the desire to do, the desire to have? The desire to know, you will get to choose what you will know, believe it or not. And so there's knowing for knowing's sake, and that leads nowhere. Because my grandma reads a book a day, and she's 95. What is she doing with it? If I asked her what she read 6 books ago, she probably wouldn't even be able to tell me. There's knowing for just knowing's sake, but then there's actually knowing for doing's sake, which creates action, enlightenment, productivity, a higher self-actualization. When we do our book club and we're reading the 7 levels of communication right now, it's completely centered around a shift. I didn't even realize that when I scheduled it for our book, and we're in the middle of a shifting market in real estate. And the 7 levels of communication is all about how to get out of a rut towards what's happening in the markets. So good. Oh my gosh. And it's making me, oh yeah, it's giving me clever ideas. So in our last 30 minutes, we're going to leave with a really cool little couple slides. This one's a truth bomb. Have you guys ever heard of truth bombs? These are fun. So I have it. Rob, would you be willing to read these? Because my voice is running out.
A healthy grocery shop, $100, too expensive. Dinner date, $100, reasonable.
Would you agree? Yeah. It's pretty simple. Okay, here we go.
A month's supplements, $100, can't afford that. Night out drinking, $100, weekly occurrence.
Right? Okay, and
Personal growth seminar, $250. That's crazy talk. Gucci belt, $250. Need to have it.
Isn't that funny how we think that that's stupid? Why would you know what it is normally to take this class? $500 a person. But to get you here, I'd rather not charge and just do it and cause life change than to make the money. Does that make sense? But it's funny how we think about that. Like, would you pay $1,000 for a book? Probably not. But what could you make if you read that sucker and you had actually taken stuff from it, right? But the Gucci belt's like, what's that gonna do for you? Oh man, I saw a podcast the other day and it was specifically around rich people, the way that wealthy people dress and the way that poor people dress. It was fascinating because they showed that poor people try to look rich and they overspend themselves. And then the rich people look like they're freaking poor and they've got all the money, right? It's so fun.
Start a business, $1,000. I can't justify that. iPhone XR, $1,000. The newest model is a necessity, excuse me.
Man, how often we get new phones costing us an arm and a leg? And then yet starting a business, right? We were just talking. To get into real estate, it's about $2,000 to get in. What would it cost to start your own hiking boutique? Oh, that'd be great to see.
I have no idea.
Yeah. It's a lot. If you were to open a shop, you'd probably need 100,000 in capital. Unless you were gonna lend, create a business loan that would, hopefully get you what you needed. But to have a really cool shop in a walkable area that is, has the look and feel of what it is you're trying to create, like an REI or who knows what. I think to start an REI, you need 250,000. Okay, but you can get into real estate for 2,000, and guess what? I can make about, I don't know, I know franchises pretty well, and I would say that REI franchise would create about $100,000 net on average. Okay, my Baskin Robbins created $100,000 net per year. Okay, and that's the goal of most franchises. They go, hey, and then you can multiply them. You can do like 5 franchises, and then you're making 500,000 from each. Or not 500 from each, but 5,000, you know what I'm saying, 100, and then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But to start a real estate business, I can create a whole lot of money per year. Cool.
Yeah.
With almost nothing. That's why it's such an attractive thing sometimes. Right, Carly? Okay, go ahead.
60 minutes at the gym. I wish I had time. 60 minutes watching Netflix. Time flies. Watch another one.
Next, binge. Yeah. 60 minutes. Man, I can't tell you how many times I hear people say, I just don't have time for it. Where does all the time go? Yeah, I just don't know where all the time flies. It just keeps going. It's like, no, make the time. It's the priority. You're doing 75 hard right now. And you've had to completely rearrange your schedule because of it.
It's messed me up so bad,
It-
but in the best way. Let me put that.
It's
caveat.
messed up the bad habits.
Correct.
It's a wrecking ball towards the bad things. 100%. All right. And then I think there's one more.
Everything in life is about priorities, and what you prioritize will dictate what your life looks like. Where will you be in 5 years?
Oh, man. Where will you be in 5 years? Well, you've got your 100-year calendar, don't you? So you could technically tell me where you would be if you followed your plan. And we haven't even created the plan, so don't feel bad. We're gonna create your GPS tomorrow.
Every year.
Your GPS is your goals, the 3 main priorities for hitting that goal, and your 5 strategies for each one of those priorities, so that you have actually activities towards what it is you want to achieve. And then it becomes your guiding document. It's a 1-page business plan that we could make your calendar reflect that. That's the goal. And guess what? We could have a focus for each week so that we knock down the dominoes along the way towards creating the awesome little cute bakery. Right? Yeah. Oh, you all right? Okay. And remove your limiting beliefs. That's what we're going to kind of finish on today. And so we're going to have the fact that there are victims and there are accountable people. You can be accountable or you can be a victim, couldn't you? Does anybody know any victim mentality people? Huh? We know victims, don't we? And they want to tear everyone down around them as well. They're toxic and they don't like that you are going to be successful. Somebody posted on our internal page recently. It was a really good quote too. It was something like, hold on. Some people will never like you because your spirit irritates their demons. Oh, isn't that a good quote? Some people will never like you because your spirit irritates their demons. Whoa. I'm telling you, I've had people in this class before and they're like, dude, this guy, he's so passionate. He's so energetic. Ugh. No kidding. I had a guy come up to me on like the first break and he left because he was like, you're so fake. And I'm like, okay, that sucks because I'm being as real as I could possibly be. This is just me. If you ask my mom, my wife, my mom, my family, I'm just this way all the time. I mean, sure, I can be less energetic, but like if my kids were here, and my kids have taken this with me, my daughter's taking quantum leap at 14, similar. This is just, be you, right? Be the authentic you. And when life happens, there are people that are victims, and this is how they respond. They avoid reality. They fight reality. They say, oh, that's not how I see it. Like when stuff hits the fan, right? Remember, this is when shite hits the fan. And then they blame. They say, oh, it's not my fault. It's yours. You did it. Everyone else did it but me. Right? And then they go, personal excuses. But no one told me it was going to be this hard. And then they go, wait and hope. And they wait for handouts. Victims do this. This is real. And then there's accountable people. And accountable people, they seek reality. They want to know what's going on. And then they acknowledge reality. They say, okay, I see what's going on. And now I'm going to go do something about it. So they say they own it. And they say, if it's to be, it's up to me. And then what do? They go in and they make sure that they find the solution. What can I do? And so the fifth one is they get on with it. And that's what they say, this is what I will do based upon the actual reality that I found out and know for real. So I added this slide, but I added another one on top of it. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is really good. And I think we have time for it. Yeah, perfect. So just like the victim and the accountable person, you have non-talent victim and you have talent accountable. And Elise, with the coach, and is it okay if I pick on you?
Always.
Your coach is providing a level of accountability that is painful sometimes, is it not?
Every time.
Every time I would say, yeah, it is a little bit. Now, aren't they your biggest fan also?
Yeah.
They are.
Absolute biggest cheerleader.
Biggest cheerleader? Yet, man, when they talk to you, it's like, okay, all right, I guess I'm gonna have to step outside of my comfort zone and I'm gonna have to acknowledge the reality, right? And man, if any of you have, anybody been in sports before? No sports? Never? Okay, yeah. What'd you do, volleyball? Yeah. Volleyball, what'd you play?
A little bit of football.
Football? Did you ever do sports? What'd you play?
I played baseball.
Baseball?
Soccer,
Soccer.
tennis, gymnastics.
Oh, just all of them. Okay, good. And
Ballet.
ballet. Oh, wow, cool. Okay, so you had coaches in those, didn't you? And they were bought into your talent level and helping you look for the things you needed to change and listening for the negative mindset. And they were guiding the whole team towards hopefully victory, right? And if you lost, the coach lost. Because they're in it with you. They're in the trenches with you. That's what great coaches are. Great coaches are in it with you. They feel the pain with you. They lose with you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That's what's different than a teacher. A teacher tells you what others have done. A coach helps you go the way because they've done it. You hear that? It's a big difference. And so non-talent, this is great, and we'll finish with this today. A talent has to be pushed and to want answers. Talent has to be pushed to want answers. All right, and I can explain more about that, but non-talent doesn't fulfill your needs and ends up giving you back pieces of their job. If you hired somebody to be your personal assistant and then all of a sudden you feel like life is getting harder, that's because they're giving you pieces of their job back. It's a big deal. And you younger people have never hired somebody, so I get it. Just follow along. This is real though. If you've ever babysat or if you've ever worked with kids, it's a lot like working with realtors. And I'm not demoting realtors. I'm just saying I am a realtor too, and I would be one of those problem children also. Okay, so I'm not blaming. I'm just saying that realtors are basically just big children. Okay. And sometimes when you hire somebody and you don't get that job taken care of for you, one just a cool rule of thumb. If you hire someone and it's not immediately easier, like your whole life gets easier within 2 weeks, everything's getting easier. If that's working, great, you got talent. And not to say you have rock star talent, but if let's say it's getting harder and like it's getting more difficult, you don't have talent. It's just a great rule. 2 weeks into the role, if they're not fulfilling their role, they're giving you pieces of their job back, they're having to be pushed, and they don't know what they want and aren't even searching for it. And that's what's great about Quantum Leap. And I'll recommend any of you that ever hire anybody for your potentially team, having them come to a Quantum Leap or something like it, like what Keller Williams offers all the time. But I'm going to say that you want talent that's searching for something bigger. You want them to be exposing their internal, what's going on inside. What are their internal motivations? Requires you to push them. Ugh. Non-talent may not know where the existing bar is set or whatever kind of bar you're talking about. It's super funny. They're like, what bar are you talking about? Like, no, the bar, like the bar, like where the standards are. And they're like, oh, I thought you meant drinking, right? And then talks about anything. And when they try to emulate the talk of talent, it's just rhetoric. That means that there's no reality behind it. But talent pushes for solutions. My director of operations, her name is Ilham, and she's not from America, but she literally, she will go and she will find solutions and bring me options to solve the problem. So like, for example, non-talent would come in and be like, everything seems to be not going very well. What should we do? You do that, okay? But Ilham will come in and be like, okay, so this is what happened, and these are the 3 solutions I've come up with. Can you think of anything else that you'd like to do? And I go, ooh, I like that one. Do that one. Great. Done. Do you hear that? That's a big difference. When someone else can bring you the solutions that they've come up with because they've already thought about it a little bit because they've used their brain. Non-talent is not going to use their brain. They're going to wait for you to do it. That's giving you your job back. Talent shares your goals and fulfills your needs as a natural byproduct of fulfilling their own. Whoa, that's fun. Because, director of operations, Ilham, her bonus structure is based off of the success of the team. And so she has a salary, yes, and I pay her well, but I'm going to say that her whole salary is nothing in comparison to the bonuses that she makes by being on the team. So if our team crushes it, she makes a lot. I want to tie her success and her significance and her effectiveness to the effectiveness of the team. Let's go, 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 people. We got to save people from using bad realtors.
I like that.
Right?
I love it.
Come on, people. There's people out there that need saving. Right? You've probably heard me say this in a team meeting. I think I did. And so, but her goals are being fulfilled as a natural byproduct of mine. And they know what they want and are actively searching to know more. And that's a big one. And so then lastly, they push you. Gary Keller said this at one point, and it changed my life. And he said, at Keller Williams, we have such a high level of talent that I have to constantly be looking to grow myself in order to stay in business with these professionals. I have to earn the right for these people to stay in business with me. Elise, have you ever met Ben Kinney?
No.
But you saw him on stage, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, Rob, have you, yeah. So Ben Kinney, Chris Suarez, Kristen Cole, I could keep going down the list of the megas across the world. These are the best in the world. And in order for them to stay Keller Williams, Gary Keller said when Keller Williams began, it was like a basketball and everybody in it was like a golf ball. Okay, but what happened is he poured like quantum leap material onto them and threw them and around them and just started really building them personally. And those golf balls turned into softballs. Well, could the basketball hold the softballs if they all became that? No, it had to turn into a beach ball. Does that make sense? So Gary had to grow him and grow the opportunities and grow the company to encompass the level of talent that was like that. And that's why Keller Williams became the #1 company in the world in like 6 years. That's why Mo Anderson, the woman who taught me this class for the first time, first woman CEO of a Fortune 500 company, Princeton, Yale, and Harvard study her. Do you know that? That's super cool because she did something no company's ever done in the history of business. She created a culture that grew so fast, no one had ever seen a company grow like that. Cool, right? Because there was a culture that had standards and systems and processes, and the MVVP was written and documented and online, and it was ready to go. And this was about who we were. And I'm like, yeah. And I love that. They push you. Real talent. So be talent that pushes. Ooh. Be talent that pushes. And then the last parts is constant. Talent is constantly raising the bar and wants to be associated with talent. Ooh, that's a big one. Usually, talent focuses their talk on the language of challenge and achievement. So they're like, how could we be better? What could we do better? What could be awesome? How could we make this real? What could we do to crush our competition? Yeah. Challenge and achievement. So lastly, we will read this together and we'll be right at the end. What page is now on? 47? Okay, we're gonna read this out loud together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I follow the path of mastery. I focus on the 20% that matters most. I am purposeful about the things that matter. I use learning as the foundation of my action plan. I operate from unlimiting beliefs, and I live the cycle of accountability. So that's really what we're going into tomorrow. And I'll read this last quote because it's so good from Thomas Edison. To get to the next level in your life will require a different perspective and a higher level of thinking than the perspective and level of thinking you got that got you where you are. So wherever you are, doesn't matter. That past level of thinking will not be the same level to get you to where you want to go next. It needs to change. Cool. Thank you. You guys were awesome. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you tomorrow morning if I haven't scared you away. You guys won't be here tomorrow.
I appreciate it though.
Okay, so if you guys would meet with me, I'm just gonna turn on some music and we can start heading out, but I would love to cover a couple of things, because you'll be able to take those books with you. And then eventually, when I do it again, I'd love for you to get that second day. Is that cool? And she's gonna get the second day tomorrow?
Yes.
And so once I walk through that second half of the book with her, she'll also be able to fill in some of the gaps.
Okay.
But
Thank you so
it's
much.
good stuff.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yay. Thanks, Tim.
Got it.
Not used to it. I usually sit down.
Do you want us to clean this up?
She's not having to do it.
Oh, yes, if you guys would help me, that would be fabulous. Let's just set the plates and everything up here.
You said what?
Hi, Andrew.
See ya.
I think that's what you're going for. Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
Stacy stuff or you stuff?
Same place, same time.
Stacy stuff.
Do you want bridge or do you gotta take it home?
Oh, you come up the steps. I don't know. And then, I mean, we'll have to actually put it in the fridge, go to the left, there's the next.
Just walk to the wall.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll take it home and leave right out.
Yeah, my.
You copy these. And I want to explain them. So family, personal health, job.
Oh,
Or as a goal. You could say, I wanna, family. Is, if you had a family, an example would be walk them with a family. You could say, I want to.
That helps. Oh, yeah.
Plan.
There's starter points in your eyebrows. On your eyebrows. So like.
You should say, I want to. Give back something, whatever. Personal, you could say, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. You could say, I want to give a thank you. Personal, I want to.
Yeah, no, I think I did.
Yeah, I had one for, I had a. Yeah, I woke up with a tension headache.
Go to the document.
Yeah.
This is the document I got. Way short. 12 months. So I'll explain this really quick. These are the months of the year, January through December, and then each of the weeks within the month. And you could technically line up your dominoes this way, where if you wanted to read a book once a month, you could have a 7 levels of communication. Like, read the book with one thing. Some business book, or look at the Bible, I don't know. You're gonna put in the goals of your life. And then below are the weeks, and as you say, do real estate. But I wanna do 2 hours a day, open house, and I'm going to work on my database 1 hour every other day. Yeah, focus for me. Or for you, it could be something with the bike shops, or marketing, or you guys maybe go, maybe you have maybe your goal would be revisiting some.
You're ready to say well.
Thank you.
I will be here tomorrow, yeah.
Yay, good, good.
See you guys.
So July could be, maybe a trip. I don't know, but I'm gonna say that each month's goals goes up here, and then you can choose which week you're gonna do. So this is a tool I created to line up the dominoes. And don't feel like it has to be completely filled out. It's more of just, if you have dominoes you know of from the material, maybe you rewrite your mission statement. Or you create your MVP, your mission, vision, values, from the perspective of your companies. Your boyfriend has this great company. Does he have a mission statement? Maybe not. Or the employees, do they know what it is if you've got one? Maybe not. Or we could schedule, do a quantum leap for his companies. Kind of fun. So that's the idea. You line up the dominoes. And then the last part, I created this also to help you follow this thing similarly up here. Your family, personal health, your personal business, faith, all these other things. You can have, if you wanted to, keep track of your habits. So you could say like, I'm gonna work out once a day just for 20 minutes. 20 minutes workout every day. So that could be a fitness or, right? Financial, I'm gonna save $1,000 a month. No matter what, I'm always gonna save $1,000.
and you're like, just
Make that a goal, check it off,
because that's always
anytime you do it. And so these habits creations kind of goes along with cutting down time. So you can make some of these on here if you want to. Thank you, see you tomorrow. You get the idea. Yeah. And then the book, obviously, there's a lot of material in it, but I wanted you to have these two.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm giving them out tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
welcome.
Thank you, thank
You're
you.
welcome.
I know Dad just is absolutely raved about it.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Well, tomorrow's is, and honestly, I would say it's more powerful
That's what he
because,
said.
yeah, I'm bummed, because we do a lot of the activities that we built the foundation on today, yeah. Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
Good.
Love it, love it, love it. So these are two of my young people.
I know, I love you guys. You guys are so
Heather.
great.
Carly's tired.
Oh, good.
She has to work today, so I do.
She does. She's got to go and get ready.
Well, I appreciate all of you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's been fun.
I knew it was tough for them because of work and people doing vacations. And tomorrow blocked off your place. I knew that it was bad. I was afraid that it was I dress for purchases. For us.
I just had to ship my baby off to someone.
Yeah, yes.
Like my mom. And then my mom goes, well, grandma fell, so we're at the emergency room. And I was like, oh, awesome, with my baby. Cool.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. But they're in Lebanon, so.
That's quite a drive.
Is she okay? Yeah, they don't know. She's 92. Well, she'll be 92 in September. So she's old. And she fell trying to put a dish into the fridge because she's still independent and still lives alone. It caused her to fall on Saturday and she's still in pain. Usually she'll fall and like 2 days later, then she'll be a little bit better. Like she'll like get really sore and then be more active, but she was still saying that they felt like there was something out of place or something. So she's at the hospital, and Josie, our little one, she brought her play glasses.
He's so cute.
She brought her,
Oh, my God.
I mean, that's no glasses.
I'm
But
obsessed with her.
she had her glasses on and was making my mom put them on. And then made my Aunt Linda put them on. Because we're all sass and all of it. Like
She just turned
So
2
cute.
and it was like a light bulb switch.
like
And
this is the
Yes.
sassafrasness that we're.
Hold on, I gotta share that too. Hold on. I'll show you my.
I love her.
She's so spunky.
She's so cute.
We went to the lake and she fell asleep on this giant floaty. She sleeps like a contortionist, like she sleeps like this at night. So she had fallen asleep on this raft all tucked in and was out for like 2 hours. We're just bobbing at the lake and she's asleep. Well, the sun touched her cheek just a little bit. I won't show you her full bare bones, but she got a little bit of sun. So she just has like a little half moon on her cheek. She's got a half moon.
Yes, this is us yesterday finishing our decorations for VBS. our
Oh,
vacation-
wait.
vacation
Wait.
Bible
Where is that?
Northside Christian Church.
That's my church.
No way.
That's my church. I'm like, I know that entryway. That's to the middle.
Huh?
What?
Yep,
What?
I know it.
Mine's
So
literally blown right now.
there's my little Tobin, he's 2,
Oh, how cute.
I think
Look
I
at
walked.
the
Wait,
hair.
how old is she?
14.
Is she gonna be in small groups or life groups? 8th grade?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be her leader.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, I lead the 8th grade girls.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's wow. Small world. Well, it's Springfield.
Well, I was
It's Springfield.
I was a youth pastor for 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah, back in California.
Yeah. That's how long have you been going to Northside?
We really bounced around in the beginning, not knowing where we would land, but our kids love the kids program there the best. So we had been invited by lots of people to go to James River for a while. So we went there for a little while. And I love Pastor John and I love his preaching style. It's really great. But as far as connectability and stuff like that, it was really difficult. And it was farther away from us because we're up north.
Yeah. So are you more in Fairgrove area?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah.
I grew up in Fairgrove. Whenever you said that farm, I'm like, that's either Fairgrove or Ozark. Like, the countryside wise. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's fun.
Places in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
my mom's farm's still
Yeah,
out there.
that's it. That's right where we're at. We're off just Highway H. You go left. Or
Yeah.
I can pull it up on the map for you.
Okay, do you pass Crystal Cave?
Yep.
Okay, do you go WW or do you keep going?
WW.
Okay, so,
You go up.
yes, wait. Yes, okay, so if you kept going past WW, H curves, if you go straight, that's Farm Road 167. My mom's farm's off of that.
So mine's the curve. So I
So
go
you took the curve, so you passed it, okay.
go straight down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so my husband, he's a UPS driver and he's been delivering out there. So he's probably delivered to you then.
Yeah, probably.
I'll show you this picture.
Kind of scruffy.
No.
No?
And also.
Picture in a UPS hat and sunglasses.
Maybe here, I'll show you.
That's so crazy though.
Here, I can do it on my phone.
I've got, are we just leaving our names for tomorrow?
You're coming tomorrow. I just threw mine away. I'm not coming.
Is that, what is that?
Yeah, the Z fold.
Okay. It's crazy. It's kind of mind blowing actually that it's. Yep. So my mom's farm is.
I mean, I do.
Okay, that's hilarious. Yes, okay, and then I had a best friend that lives on 48 and I would drive her back.
Actually, I should have you take it, honestly, because I'm not going over there.
Yeah, that's hilarious. He's so close to where mom lives. So you know how whenever we were going back to mom's, we just went straight?
Yes.
If you went around the curve, it's the bounty going right there.
That's funny.
Yeah, so my mom's is that long driveway to her driveway. That's her.
She has 300 acres. So she's
We're
got a
on.
huge
That's what I
amount.
want to buy is about 300 acres.
So we're. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Well, you probably, what service do you go to?
Wait, why you talk to me about?
I get
so I can
it.
send the rest home.
Yes.
And that way you can take pizza.
Oh, yeah. You take pizza home.
Does Autumn, you've got your pizza there?
Yeah.
So typically we go to first.
Okay, he was supposed to be here.
And that's probably why I haven't seen. Your boy's 2 now, right?
2.5.
2.5.
I don't want any.
So did he just bump up to the
He's taking it all.
2 to 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so we do 90 and
He is.
rotation.
He's a 4. Okay, am I carrying these out?
Which ones do you?
I want to take some.
Oh.
No, I think.
And then get back.
Oh, yeah, we do that.
It's I only call it the compound and then I realized I kind of think it's like a.
Oh, you need to leave some of that for your sister.
Leave some of what?
The cheese.
That's fine. I have chicken salad. Hey, I'll take it home. I'll put some pieces in the box.
So that's what I was gonna say. So my buyers have been, they were looking in Kansas City, but they have family here. They've decided that is not gonna work, so they're gonna settle here. But they're travelers, nomads.
Well, I just that was the one
To
that
meet
was
them,
untouched.
it's like they're in the right neighborhood, in the right house, they're willing to wait, if needed. So. Yes, so that was my next
I'm
question
so
for you.
excited for tomorrow. Thank you for being here. Love having you.
Okay. So if it's dirty, it's one thing. If it's, like one house we went to that she was just like, this whole wall was gonna have to be spent out. It was nothing but shelves that she put in her garage.
She's gonna go dirt biking in the
I
afternoon.
know Greg's been trying to get us to all like do something, and that was one of the things he
She's gonna
wanted us
have
to
to
go
be,
do.
so I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I used to love that.
Yes.
If I set this here, will they pick that up, the thing, or do you want me to just carry it out?
What, that trash?
I don't think that
We could all
so
take
much
it out.
would put them on.
No, I can
Yeah.
take it.
Don't worry about it, I'll throw it away.
I don't even know how to explain it. I don't think that would.
Well, then
And so, and the thing is, Yeah, more like they're thinking.
Okay, and Friday,
Bigger
okay.
challenges than they are. So she can help that.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Okay, look, it's you, Stacy.